If Arsenal win the North London derby tomorrow, Liverpool going to this evening down in 11th, they'll be 11 points behind the Gunners. Yes, I mean, we're getting to that stage where we can't keep saying it's an early stage of the season. We're not yet a third of the way through. But to argue that they're somehow going to be part of this title race is becoming increasingly difficult, isn't it?
It certainly is. Looks like they need a miracle to be anywhere near Arsenal at this moment in time. They lost 4 Premier League games in the whole of last season. That was a 6th defeat in the Premier League already. We're 12 games in. And you listen to Virgil van Dijk there. He's got a challenge on his hand as a player individually and trying to get this group of players some confidence and belief back, along with Arne Slot and the big players in that dressing room. Because for 32 minutes, they came out the blocks quick. Mo Salah looked confident again. He was running at Nico Williams. Gakpo was looking good. But as soon as they went behind, it was amazing how it just changed. The self-belief, the atmosphere in Anfield, it was just sucked out of them. And that's because what we've seen so far this season. There's so much disbelief. I mean, the fans left early. It was a really poor performance in the second half. I mean, you have to find something within yourself. And I listen at Virgil van Dijk there. When he comes out, he's normally the most confident person. He looked broke there. It looked like it was a big challenge, and it's going to be for Liverpool to get anywhere near the top of the Premier League.
Do you? I go back 3 years. They actually had a worse start under Jurgen Klopp 3 years ago. They ended up finishing 5th. I know they want better than finishing 5th, but you don't panic yet.
Well, they need to go back to basics. You look at what Sean Dyche was saying, and you look at it and you say, look, the results haven't been good enough. Now, for the standards, the results weren't good enough for Nottingham Forest. They've gone back to basics, and Nico Williams is there touching on it, saying, we're doing the running, we're doing the hard yards. Liverpool, it feels like, just have to go back to the basics, and it's defending solidly as a group, defending as a unit. Individual responsibility isn't there right now.
Is that the biggest problem to solve defensively?
Yeah, I think the easiest thing to do when you're struggling is get back in a shape, get compact, and Liverpool are very open at the minute and easy to play against.
Liverpool have signed so many players, and there isn't many that have actually been a success as yet, and they're really struggling to find the balance. And it's not just one thing, because defensively they've been really poor, set pieces they've been really poor, but also trying to find the balance in forward positions. So it's not an easy fix for Liverpool, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Did you find that, though, mentally as a player, to get back to those levels, to that standard, to maintain it at least, it is difficult?
It was, yeah, absolutely, because you're the team that's there. Everyone's trying to beat you. It's very different from when you're chasing teams to then being chased, and then to being the top boys where everyone's coming up and they may have a different setup against you, and they've looked at what you were really successful at the season before, so teams are not going to let you do the same thing. But the sign of great teams are they go again. It's one thing winning it. The great teams go again, like Man United have done, like Man City have done that. But Liverpool aren't winning the league this season.
You've both played in teams that have struggled. You've been in teams that have been successful and then struggled. There is no doubt Liverpool are struggling. When a captain of a team comes out and talks about losing battles and losing challenges and them not being on it and the second balls, is that a message for the dressing room more than the fans?
That's a clear message to his teammates, I think. Liverpool are a very good team, and they're going through a very difficult moment at the minute. And Van Dijk is the captain, he is the leader, and that is a strong message to his teammates. And maybe to the players who haven't been there, who wasn't there last year, who didn't win the Premier League with Liverpool. That's a message. The standards at Liverpool need to be higher than what they are at the minute.
It's basics. You give yourself the best chance possible, and looking at the individuals in there. Are you playing well? Are you individually playing well before you even start? Is everyone at the top of their game? And there's not many out there in a red shirt today that turn around and say, yeah, I was. And that's really fundamental basic of football is, are you playing quite well right now? And they're not. You talk about the newer players. It's also some of the established players that look to be struggling at the moment. I mean, you highlighted that the second goal. Salah, McAllister, it's the established players as well that look off it.
Yeah, it is, and I think, you know, they've been going through a tough time for all season, really. Even at the beginning of the season, they won games, but they were struggling with performances. And I've said this, you know, throughout the season, it's them leaders in that dressing room who have to pick the players up, because if not, then, you know, we've seen it over the last few years with Manchester United, and we've seen it last season with Tottenham. They can slip down the table.
You don't panic just yet. They took advantage of so many of the weaknesses that Liverpool have that Virgil van Dijk spoke about there.
Yeah, they did, and I think that's a concern when your captain's speaking like that about the players lacking fight and not winning second balls and winning the challenges. But if we have a look here of how Nottingham Forest prepared themselves against Liverpool, they allowed Liverpool to come onto them early on, as we see here, and they were sucking Liverpool into traps all afternoon. And then, as we look here, the ball gets cleared out the box. Forest winning the second ball, and now running forwards, running off the back of the Liverpool players with pace, making it difficult for Liverpool. Liverpool not getting back quick enough, and then Konate actually gets there. He's in a good position, but sloppy. Kicks the ball out for the easy corner, and then from the corner, Liverpool are tight to the Forest players. But then as the ball comes into the box, Morello, he's just hanging around the back here. Van Dijk gets a bit of a head on it, it falls to him. He's got a lot of space, a lot of time in the penalty area, and it's a really good finish. And then here from a throw-in, again, it's sloppy. You look at Jesus in the box, he's just pulling off the back of Konate. He makes a little movement, gets across the front of him, and he's very unlucky that he didn't get another goal from this. Again here, Forrest running off the back of Salah here. McAllister gets sucked out, he has to get out then to try and get on the ball. This is 35 seconds into the second half. Cut back into the box, 2-0. Forrest in a very comfortable position. And then here you see Arne Slot, as he's mentioned after the game, he tried to change it up, he tried to make changes to try and get Liverpool back into the game, but you see that they're switched off, they're not concentrated, they're not talking, not communicating with each other, and Forrest play a quick free kick.
Hutchinson has loads of space.
Hutchinson, they don't get close enough to him, they allow him to pick up speed. He runs into the box, gets a shot off, and Gibbs White gets the rebound, 3-0, and a well-deserved victory for Nottingham Forest, who I thought were excellent.
And for that hour, as Arne Slot says, they were comfortable. And to be fair to Arne Slot as well, he didn't make a big thing of the first goal. And it's kind of sod's law, isn't it? That 2 weeks ago, they have one disallowed in similar circumstances, and now this one's allowed.
Yeah, and it's a goal. And in my opinion, 2 weeks ago, it was a goal. Yeah. And you're looking at this and you're saying, well, you know, there's no debating whether Ndoye in front of Becker, Alisson Becker, he's offside. But if we can zoom round, you're looking at the strike and the lack of movement from Ndoye on impact. Alisson can see the ball, he can see the strike, and from there, the main difference...
There, he's got a view there, yeah?
He's got a view. The main difference is you look at Ndoye, he makes no movement whatsoever, and there's no chance of Alisson to make the save. There's not making an impact on him and his ability to make the save. That's one of the key things. The other thing is the...
want to talk more about Liverpool if I can. And the question that came in, which again has kind of looking at social media, there are a lot of people saying the same thing, that there are other clubs up and down the leagues who, if they go on a run like Liverpool are going on, the fans sometimes are jamming phone lines, Ash, and saying it's time to change the gaffer.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because he's got a bit of grace because he won the league last year. I mentioned earlier in the show, you know, that the passing of Diego Jota, you know, rest in peace, and how much that's affected the squad and him as well as the manager. And you've got to factor all these things into it. But what we do know is the team aren't performing. He's making a lot of changes within the game, every week to week, and he's just not getting it right. So, as I said before, today is the first time that I've thought I'm not sure Arne Slot can resolve this situation at Liverpool. So then you start looking at, do they make a change? Which seems crazy at the start of the season. They brought good players. I thought, well, they've brought 3 or 4 of the best players around Europe. They're going to go and steamroll the league again. They absolutely haven't. They got outplayed again today. And I can't see Arne Slot. It doesn't fill me with confidence. It'd be interesting to see what he says, but it doesn't fill me with confidence to say, you know what, no worries, I actually know what the problem is and I'll fix it.
Not one of the players has settled well. And these are, you know, £450 million worth of players. Kirkes is very different, clearly playing for Liverpool than it is for Bournemouth, and he's showing that in his performances. Frimpong isn't available. Szoboszlai playing right back, and
actually he should be playing more centrally, more higher up the pitch. He's probably been their best player, and he's been parked at right back. Doesn't mean a right back can't dominate the game, by the way. And then Isak is anonymous. And yes, we looked at him for Newcastle, but their game's just kicked off against Man City. And he was quite magnificent, and they've dropped a level without him. But he can't find that performance in a Liverpool shirt.